Kevin, I
I said
know
no.
you're upset that this is the last episode of season 2, but we must record
Oh,
so that
sad
our
times.
viewers can hear our voice for one more time before our break. But we will be back. We are here today to discuss the movie The Unforgivable on Netflix, directed by Nora Finkscheit. That
Nice.
is very questionable if that's correct or not.
Nice, James.
Screenplay written by Peter Craig, Hilary Seitz, and Courtney Miles. Sorry, her name's spelled a
You say
little interesting.
Courtney?
Is it
spelled
Courtney or
different?
Courtney?
Courtenay. So it's Courtney
it is
in my
Courtney.
mind, but it's probably just Courtney. Yeah,
I
but
think it's.
I
I
was
think
just
it's
seeing
Courtney.
this for the
I
first
think it's
time,
Courtney.
so I was like,
yeah.
I just was reading it phonetically, and I was like, wait a minute, it's probably Courtney. Okay. I was traveling.
prep
I
for the
made sure to
podcast?
be here on time. I was only about 5 minutes late, so give me some slack. Today, this movie is starring the one and only Sandra Bullock as the main character, Ruth Slater, Viola Davis as Liz Ingram, Vincent D'Onofrio as John Ingram, the husband of Liz Ingram, and John Bernthal as Blake. Overall good acting from these people. Let's get right on into our first reactions. I'm going to start with Kevin because he seemed
Rude.
stiff about this pick.
Kevin's always stiff. That's his secret.
I'm like iffy about this movie. It also, James, fuck you. I'm so like on the fence about it because I think it gets better as it goes on, but it's so slow and kind of boring in the beginning that it almost feels like a waste of time for you to work your way through this movie, deal with the slow, kind of pointless beginning just to watch 20 minutes of a good movie. So I wasn't thrilled by it. And I like a lot of the actors in there. Like I like Viola Davis. I like Vincent D'Onofrio, John Bernthal. I like them all, except I'm not a big Sandy B fan, but we'll get into that. But yeah, I don't think it was really worth my time. I think there's better stuff out there. So yeah, I didn't love it, but it wasn't like terrible. Like I wouldn't sit here and say this movie's dog shit. Don't watch this movie. Like I just didn't think it was that great. And there goes my strobes. So, James, what about you, buddy?
This one, I actually disagree, Kev. I think this is a really good movie. And like it wasn't even like it wasn't like I was bored part of the way through. Like I was really like I thought it told an interesting story that we don't always get to see, where it's like you see this character that has like I mean the movie's called The Unforgivable. Like it's like a semi like unredeemable storyline or like tragic arc, you know, that like everybody's like justifiably mad at her for, I guess. I mean, like obviously you learn things develop and like obviously it's a much more complex situation. But like they do a good job in the movie of like making all of the characters like understandable and like somewhat relatable, I think, which is why I think this overall was a very good movie. I think that Sandra Bullock did a very good job as the character, but I have a hard time relating to characters that are very like, you know, emotionally like muted, you know, because it's like you don't really like. I feel like that was my issue with Idris Elba in a few movies too. Is like I know you're a really good actor / actress. Like I want to see more, you know, but like I get that that's what they're going for. So I don't know. Overall, I thought it was a really good movie, really, really well done. I thought it was a very interesting story. So, you know, I'll pass it over to Joey. What do you think?
I am right in between you guys because I agree with Kev that I thought this was a very slow start and it kind of feels a little boring at times and not really like you're kind of wondering what the point is, what the plot is, what the point of this movie is. I think there's enough there that it does keep you excited. There's a great cast behind it, so you are interested in kind of seeing them all develop as people, as their relationships intertwine and expand. Yeah, her character was very muted. She was not very upfront with like her emotions, and she held back a lot of information. I think that's just a not like a syndrome of going to prison, but I feel like that's kind of like a lesson you learn is like you don't be too open. You kind of hold things closer to your chest. Also, going to prison is my absolute biggest fear in life. forever. Like it always has been, always probably will be.
That's
And I
why
think
Joe
this
will
movie-
never commit a crime. He's so
Ever.
scared of
Like,
prison.
I'm
I
so
don't think
scared.
Joey, I don't think any of us are gonna do well in prison. So
You never, but like, it's not even about doing well in prison, but it's about the fact that like everything she went through is also like a main reason of why I'm scared. Is like it never goes away. I don't care if
Yes.
you put 50 years in for robbing a kid's lemonade stand, like you will always be a convict and like an
Did you do
ex-criminal and a felon. Once, Kevin, it was one time. What?
Classic B&E.
Yes. It was just too easy. The opportunity was there.
It was like
But,
taking candy
no,
from a baby.
Or lemonade from a
Lemonade
kid.
from a
Like,
child.
just-
No, I'm saying that's where Joe
But-
started, and then he elevated to the lemonade stand.
Yes.
Oh, right. Classic origin story of a
Classic.
villain.
No. But like Kev said, the last 20, 30 minutes of this movie is really interesting and really good and exciting, and there's a lot that happens, almost too much that I feel like they threw in that was kind of unnecessary at some points.
Don't put words in my mouth. I didn't say it was really interesting. I just said it was a little better than the rest of my movie.
Kevin still hates
You
this
said-
movie.
Yeah, but you said that
It was
it almost
was
made
not
it worth
bad.
it.
Yeah,
That
almost. Yeah.
Almost. I
Key on
think it was a little
almost.
better than that. I do think it was worth watching and that it is interesting and the ending, the payoff is strong. So I liked it. I had some reservations going into it, but it was a well done movie overall.
Yeah. Twist is good.
Let's get in. Yeah, let's get
Twist
into
is good.
our
Yep.
click, play, or keep scrolling. That's what I'm trying to
Who's
say.
starting, Joe? Who starts?
Dictate.
James.
Oh.
I'm going to click play. Obviously, I really like this movie. I think it was. Why is that so loud?
Was
Can I
that-
mute
It was
Kevin?
really loud. I do think this is a good movie, regardless of what Kevin says. But Kevin's opinion is trash anyway, so.
So true. It is true.
Kevin, go ahead.
Well, I
Trash?
think James's opinion
Trash?
is trash. This
Valid.
movie, I wouldn't call it trash. I throw trash around a lot on this podcast. I don't think it's trash. I just don't think it's like that great or like worth anybody's time. So I'm gonna say scroll, because there's like way better movies out there that you can fill your time with.
I disagree. I think this is a press play movie. I think there's a strong audience for when and where to watch this movie. It's not the most family friendly, but there's also no like nudity, sex scenes. So I think it's a good not family night movie type of thing. But if you're older and want to watch
Family
a movie
movie.
with
It's
your
not a
parent-
family movie.
I say,
Hey guys, gather
I say
around.
it-
Let's watch this girl
No,
blow
I-
a cop's brains out.
I say
Spoiler.
that in the sense.
I didn't
Yeah,
spoil
spoilers,
anything. It happens in the beginning
You're
of the
right,
movie.
You're right. All right.
I say that in the sense that I will watch movies with my parents as an adult now, and there's
You're
different
adult family.
opportunities. Yes, we're all adults. There's different
Yes.
like opportunities of movies to watch. It's not just Pixar or Disney. And
Agreed. Don't watch this with your kids.
yeah,
Please
no,
don't.
this is a good 18 plus,
Yeah.
16 plus, really probably movie.
There's a lot of violence.
But-
There's a lot of violence,
yeah.
like real, like, there's like substance abuse in the movie. There's like, there's like a lot of
Adult themes.
Yeah.
Adult themes, there are. Let's take a quick word from our sponsor, and we will be right back with the spoiler heavy section of the show. And we are back. Welcome, fellas. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for listening to our sponsor ad read by me. And let's get right into.
We got away from mine
I love
Yeah.
that you kind of sung
because
that
I'm like,
line.
hey, welcome to Flix, fellas. Blah, 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 blah. It's like
Hi,
so
welcome to
fucking
Flix
loud.
Fellas. Do you
We
need
switched
a-
hers after like 3 episodes, and we were supposed to like continue to switching it, and it's just been mine for the last 25 episodes.
Joey.
Yeah, whatever.
And we'll
dude.
probably
Yeah,
stay mine
whatever.
for the
Joey.
next foreseeable future. But
What you have to understand is if no, you don't tell me directly to do something, I'm not going to do it. If you tell me to
I've
do
learned that
something,
with both of you.
yeah, I'll do it.
Well, yeah, you can tell me directly though, and I still want.
Still do it 2 days late.
yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
man.
let's get back to the movie here. Sandra Bullock.
Sandy Bowles.
Bullock. That was a weird way
Bullock?
of saying it.
I say bullock.
Sandra Bullock. I say Bullock.
Bull.
Okay.
Like bull lick, like you lick a bull.
Would you?
Not the visual I want.
Well, how much are you offering, James?
Nothing. I'm just asking. if you would.
$11.
Oh,
50
yeah.
bucks.
The price is right.
Yeah.
The price is right.
$50.
$50 is
Okay.
$50, right?
Tangent.
What are your genuine feelings now? Because I want to start off strong with this. A hot take. I thought the acting in this was great. Didn't really love Sandy B. I thought she was a little overacting in the sense of it was just, I don't know.
She was very
I
muted.
barely love Sandy B in like anything she's in. She's really good in The Blind Side, but like, what else has she been in that she's like this prolific
Miss
actress?
Congeniality.
Like, oh, shut up! That's like yeah, she's good. Like,
she's a very
obviously
like,
she's good in that,
accomplished
but it's like.
actress.
No, but like, is she though?
Yes.
Give me something that she's in that's like fantastic.
All right, hold
Like
on.
I was
she
impressed with
it was
her
like
work
a
in Bird
fantastic
Box.
show of acting.
I didn't think
Huh?
it was Bird Box.
Because
Right. She has to
not
do a
that
lot of that
great.
blind. It's not great, but it's very difficult to do what she did, and I think she did it better than 99% of actors could in that movie.
I just don't think she's that great. She bores me.
She was in Gravity. Gravity was really good. That's
I just
another
said
hard
Gravity was really good. She wasn't like anything special in it.
She
Gravity
won
you watch for the cinematography and the directing. Like that's what you watch
Yeah.
Gravity for.
I-
Not Sandy B.
Speed.
George Clooney was better, and he fucking drifts off into space in the first 20 minutes.
She was in Speed. She was in
Premonition.
Is that she was good in Blindside. That's about
Blindside.
it.
Yeah, she won Best Actress in Gravity, Blindside, and Speed.
She won Best
love
Actress in
Speed.
Gravity. What was she up against? What year was that? 2012?
2013.
2013? What the
2012
fuck was
a
she
strong
up
year, I think.
against?
No,
2013, I
wait.
think, was
She
weak.
hold on. No.
Was she just-
2014. 2014, she was a nominee. I lost it. I lost the page.
Well, anyway,
We're
well,
digressing
I'm
here.
gonna look
Let's-
that up. We digress, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think she was that great. Honestly, the rest of the acting, like, I don't think there was much to show as far as the acting. I love Vincent D'Onofrio. I love Viola Davis. I love John Bernthal. But there wasn't anything where I was like, wow, this is some great acting. I think
I
Vincent
was
D'Onofrio is just
expecting-
great because you never know. Like, you know it's Vincent D'Onofrio, but he, like, always plays, like, his character really well, where you're not, like, watching Vincent D'Onofrio act. Whereas, like, Sandy B, you're just watching Sandy B in that role. It's kind of where, like, Leonardo DiCaprio for me has come, where, like, I
Tom
have trouble
Hanks.
watching movies, or, like, Tom Hanks, because I'm just watching Tom Hanks or
Do
Leo
stuff.
DiCaprio in that role. And that's kind of where Sandy B is for me, because she's so goddamn boring.
Yeah.
Kevin hates Sandy
I think
B.
that's a little harsh, but I agree that this wasn't. I don't think it was her best work, and that it could have been.
I mean,
There was one moment in particular where I was expecting like a big hard punch from her, of emotion and like really gut wrenching empathy, and it didn't deliver. And I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I
but-
think you're talking about the scene where you meet the parents.
No,
Or
the
when
scene
she
where
meets
she's
the
with
sister again.
No, the scene where she is at Viola Davis, and the plot twist comes
Yeah.
a veil. I don't want to spoil
Mhm.
it just yet. We'll give
Yeah,
people some
agreed.
anticipation.
No, I
I thought that was the moment where she would be like, "Oh wow, I feel for her," and I didn't really get that 100%. So that's where I was like, "Oh, that was the chance for her to bring this role like from good to great or good to just good."
Okay. Yeah.
And yeah,
I liked her flipping out at the I don't agree that her acting performance wasn't amazing, because Joey, what you said in the beginning was that you didn't like her. Like, you didn't like her character, correct? Like, you didn't like, you liked other people's characters.
yeah, the character in the sense that she is an open person. Like,
Yeah, but that's the
that's what I was
point.
struggling.
The point of the movie is that like she's supposed to be like, you're supposed to see her basically like she's going through the system in the way that she's supposed to go through the system, and she's like bumping up against all these things that are supposed to work and like help her, but like
Mhm.
they don't. You know what I mean? It doesn't. It never works out. It's not like, like
Hence
but
my
they
biggest
don't-
fear
they
to go
don't-
to jail and the system just completely fail.
I think it's just like the movie didn't lean into like any of those themes enough. Like they barely gloss over like how difficult it is like when you get out of prison, or like how the system messes you up, or
Mhm.
how it fails people. Like they barely get into that. And if you're going to make a movie about how the system fails people, you're going to cast the lead actress as a white woman? Like, come on.
That's
Like
true.
that's just like, so you can't go down that route with that role. So they didn't really go down that route, but then they didn't really go down any other route, right? Like it wasn't like it didn't really focus on anything, and it just was boring to me until the end. And honestly, not to toot my own horn, I predicted that twist like 20 minutes into the movie.
Mhm.
Like
Really?
you just see
Really?
it coming. Yeah, dude, 100%. I wrote Kingpin in this because
What?
Vincent D'Onofrio was there.
Yeah.
And then I said, and then the next note is Punisher too. And then the next note after that is, did the daughter shoot the cop?
Yeah.
Which it's
I thought it and it was so early on. I still thought it was the daughter,
not her
not a
sister.
sister.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's because
yes.
that they tried to age her down, but she doesn't look aged down. So it's like it would only be appropriate that would be her daughter. You know.
The other thing I struggled with, and why I could see people predicting that, is that it's such a dramatic action to take for someone just evicting you from your house, which I get is probably heart wrenching and terrible to deal with. But the cop is literally on the phone and says, like, I will open up my house to you and your sister so you guys can sleep comfortably.
I mean,
So like, she obviously had an option.
But I think that at that point too, like what made it so predictable was because it didn't really lean into any solid story off the bat. Like, you don't know what this movie's really about other than, and they barely even make it about her trying to find the sister early on, and you're like, what the hell is this movie trying to do? And then you consider the flashbacks and stuff, and that's how I got to it so quickly, because I was like, there's got to be something they're leading to or some reason for all of this. And that was like the only explanation. So I think it's just like bored me so much to the point where I was trying to figure out, why am I watching this movie? You know what I'm saying? So it made my brain actually work to figure out, what the hell is the point of this movie? And that's just kind of why I didn't enjoy it, because I don't like to be like figuring out like for what reason am I watching this movie. The acting isn't that great.
Yeah.
The story is almost non-existent. So like, what the hell am I doing here?
I think this was a good movie, that there was the entertaining aspect. There was clear plot points that kept you interesting. Whereas if you look at a movie like The Power of the Dog, which we just reviewed, that to me, I was like, what in the world is the point of this? Until literally like the very, very end, I was like, oh, was that all built up just for that one moment where it's like, this actually has a story. It's loose. I will give you that. There's a lot of points where you're like, is this a story about her coming out of prison? Is this a story about her finding her younger sister? Is this a story about finding the real killer? Is like, there's a lot of different plot points that could go on here, but there are plot points. So to me, I'm like, okay, that is enough to keep me interested and figure out, okay, well, she's a complex character. It's a complex story. There's more going on. Like,
Yeah.
But then they just introduce shit and then not like do anything else with it. Like John Bernthal, all that shit
He leaves the story.
didn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, did not matter at all. Like literally, and he never shows up again.
No,
It did.
Bullshit.
It did. The John Bernthal stuff absolutely mattered. It did, because it
it
was emotional.
No
It was an emotional toll, and it was like, it showed that like, even like in like the solace she can get from like a friend, she's not allowed to talk to him because the system doesn't allow it. You know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah, but they could have done that without introducing and doing all those scenes. You could have explained
Could they do
that
it faster? Yes,
like,
but I think it's still important.
and it was so stupid. It was such a waste of John Bernthal. It was so silly.
I do have one point, and this was kind of towards the beginning of the movie. There was a scene where after she gets out of prison, she gets she goes into like the housing with like a bunch of other
halfway house.
Yeah, with a bunch of other women. And she's like laying in her bed, and I hear like a woman like vehemently coughing in the room with her, and I'm just like, it made me think, like, when do you guys think movies are going to like adopt like the COVID world we now live in? You know what I mean?
I don't think they should. I hate that when TV shows, and sorry if I jumped too quick on you, Joe, but I think some TV shows, like on cable television, like started to bring that in.
Yeah.
I think it's so stupid for television or movies to even think about bringing in COVID like into their universes, into their films, because movies and television are supposed to be escapes. Like, that's literally like the roots of entertainment is escapism, escaping from the world you're living in, escaping from the shit you're dealing with, to sit and be entertained by something on the big screen, right? Or something on stage, whatever. And for them to bring in COVID, which has ruined so many lives, which has like made our lives so difficult, even if like you didn't lose a loved ones, like it has changed the way that we work as a society. To bring that into a movie, like that's not entertainment anymore. Now I'm just like stressing about fucking COVID that we're dealing with every single day. So I would hate if TV shows or movies brought it in. I refuse to watch shows on cable television most of the time anyway. But yeah, I hope they don't. Like, I hope that doesn't become a thing.
Yeah.
Can I piggyback off of that? I agree. I don't want to see it in movies. I get why TV shows had to do it, because especially cable shows have like very strict schedules and seasons that they have to like meet. So they have to start filming very early. And I think the only way they could do that was if all the actors were wearing masks at all times. And why else would they wear masks other than COVID? So I think that was why a lot of TV shows had to bring that aspect into it. I agree. I thought it was weird at first, because even when they're in the fish plant, like cutting fish heads off, like working, I was like, wow, that's weird that none of them are wearing masks.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even thinking because of COVID. I was just thinking like as like a food manufacturing plant, like I feel like that would be standard protocol. But then I'm like, maybe that is just like a COVID thing that's like now wired into my head that if you're around raw food, you should be wearing masks. I don't know. It just like, it was weird, but I agree. I don't want to see it in movies, because movies don't have necessarily strict timelines of when they have to come out. And if you have to delay filming for a week or two or a month, yes, it may be expensive and may cause problems, but better that than having to rewrite a whole story around something that's not relevant to the main story.
Yeah.
Unless you're making a movie
like
about COVID.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
Right.
Until the COVID trilogy comes out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know,
COVID 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah. It was one of those things that I picked up, and I guess it literally is just living through COVID society. But I don't think they should go in either. So, dude, John Bernthal rocks a mustache in this movie.
John Bernthal is the definition of a man who can rock a mustache.
Agreed.
Especially the handlebar one.
Oh,
like
so good.
that is top
Chef's
tier
kiss.
mustache working right there.
Chef's kiss mustache.
He can work a mustache while like murdering a bunch of people in The Punisher, and you're still like, yeah, John Bernthal.
Damn, John Bernthal.
Yeah,
dude,
damn,
I love.
yeah.
I like
You
that
go,
stash.
yeah.
I agree that I thought there was gonna be more to his character in this. Like, he did have a vital role. He was the reason that she kind of had to develop as a character and start trusting people and kind of open up, and then also feel that betrayal. Kevin is so fed up with us defending anything in this movie.
I just hate it.
This is like Kevin's, like Kevin can't not disagree in some way, but he knows on the podcast we shouldn't talk over each other. So this is what Kevin does in the background. We say something that you're not agreeing. You're like,
But
yeah.
here's the thing.
It hurts.
I understand why you didn't like this movie. I get why it may not be Oscar worthy, but it was still a good movie. Good quality, good production. The story was good, the pacing was bad. And there was, in my intro I said that they brought in some weird things towards the end that I was like unrelevant. Like, let's talk about the brothers for a second, the unhinged brothers who
it was so weird.
His dad was the victim of whose dad was the cop that died in the pre-movie starting. What did you guys think about that? Because I got their purpose in the beginning, and then it felt like it was more about them for a little bit, and then it felt like we're just going deep into their lives that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like,
again, this is where the story just gets like shit. Like, it's just like, I don't know. I don't want to shit talk. I have so much trouble on this podcast because I hate shit talking like writers and directors, because they're like, that's their trade, and like I hate doing that. But also at the same time, like, what the fuck kind of writing is that, man? Like, you're just like, they didn't have to introduce the whole like, oh, he cheated and that's what made that guy snap. You could have just made the other brother snap. You could have written that so many other ways where it doesn't feel like
stupid,
like just like stupid and just
dumb.
like shoehorned in there, you know? Like,
because he literally comes into the house and like you hear him like close the door, you hear him walk up the stairs, you hear him say like, "Where's mom?" And then he walks in and
he's just raw dogging the shit out.
Well, no, they weren't even
just like, what the
they
hell?
weren't even having sex yet. Like, he had like his underwear, like they were in the process. But it's like also one of those things where you're like, like, really? Like, this is where you had to go with this character?
Right,
Like,
yeah,
who the
like-
fuck
right.
cares? Like, I didn't
And that's
need-
why I
like, that
almost felt like it was
stupid.
about
That was
him.
dumb. Yeah. That's
Because
like,
I'm like, why are we giving him more development when we both know that the other brother, the one that's cheating with the sister, is the unhinged one. He
Yeah.
has
Right.
now agreed
And
to
he's
become
already got
unhinged. Like, their motive was there already. The plan was there already. This was just like extra to like be like, okay, now is the time to strike, but it didn't need to be there.
yeah, it was dumb. I didn't like it. I very much didn't like that part.
Can I give you my little like nitpick gripe in the movie too?
Yes.
When the one brother of the cop, the son of the cop who was shot, he goes and sees her at the construction site,
Tall one or short one?
the one who has the baby,
Tall one.
and they talk inside the construction site.
Mhm.
Yeah, the tall one. And he's like, "Okay, I'll leave." And then she leaves and locks the door from the outside, but then he's still in there. How the fuck did he get out if that was padlocked? From the
Yes.
outside?
Yes.
How
I
did he
saw
get
that and I
out?
was like, is he stuck
I
there?
was like, what?
He just lives there now.
Stupid
But-
gripe because
yeah.
you can write that out, but it's like who checked this? Like
I
who
imagine-
thought of
He
that?
was also like this like ominous figure where he like you see like the bags hanging with him and he like comes through like the plastic
He like
and he's
floated.
like he's like, guess I'm staying here tonight.
Yeah. He just floated out through the fucking plastic
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
ghost.
it's fucking
Stupid.
so
A little
dumb.
weird. But
It was also like projecting.
it's how he had to
super hard,
learn that
too.
she had
That's
a
not
sister
what she
and
said.
that there was
Yeah, but she was also like, it was insane because he's like, he said just like what did he say? He just said let it go or something like that. It's like, bro, she was
Life
talking
goes
about
on.
her dead parents, not your dead parents. You fucking
Yeah.
clown.
Right. It's stupid. See,
Yeah.
again, that's like weird writing.
Yeah.
Just,
Just
like
move
a
on.
weird part in the
That's what it
movie
was.
where it's like, come on, like that's the that
That's
is the
what motivated you?
miscommunication.
Yeah.
That like, come on, like
yeah.
fuck off.
I liked how the motivation like that. I liked the plot point that served. Like I liked the fact that like he was like, listen, like I just need to check it out and see her for myself. But like they need to make her seem less like innocent in that moment. Like she does kind of like push a little bit or say something that she shouldn't say, and like that's what unhinges him. But then like later on, because it's kind of like the King, right? Like in the King, he started a war for like nothing. You know what I mean? So it's like this guy in the same way like would way over exaggerate after one thing that she says would have been a good plot point, but he just misinterprets something that she says that wasn't complicated and isn't hard to interpret. You know?
Mhm.
Yeah, but even if like they could have like changed what she said or what that moment was there, and then you don't need to include the stupid cheating.
Yeah, you need to get rid of
thing
that whole thing.
like makes
Yeah.
him snap because like they already included something to make him angry
Agreed.
about it enough to do something crazy. So why include that? Stupid, man. I
think
come
that there's
on.
things you can cut, but I don't think that makes the movie bad. I think that that's still like I think that there's definitely gripes. It's not a perfect movie. I just think that like there's like especially with the brothers, there was a lot where I'm just like I agree with you, Kevin. I'm just like why? Like why? You know? And Joey
Yeah,
says the
but
same thing,
if-
too.
I didn't say this movie was like bad. I said it's just like okay.
Mhm.
You didn't give it your
And-
trash rating.
Right. And that's kind of my point is like it's not a great movie because they like you said, James, you can cut this stuff out, you can change this stuff to make it better. So since they left it in there, that makes it less good.
Let me ask
Yeah.
you something, Kev. Though, because you said it's not trash, it's not great. Do you see a time or place or an audience that would enjoy this movie, or when you could watch this movie and be like, okay, yeah, that was a good. I like didn't feel like that was a waste of an hour 52 minutes.
Like I feel like if you do I don't know, it's just once you get to the end and there's that payoff, the payoff is good and it's emotional and it did trigger an emotional response at the end when she finally saw the sister. But I think that I don't think there's an audience I would say you should go and watch this whole movie just for that 20-minute payoff. If you do end up watching the movie and you sit all the way through and finish it, it's really not terrible, but I don't think the payoff is worth sitting for an hour and a half, hour 40, hour and a
Hour
half.
52.
hour 52.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not worth an hour
It doesn't
52.
feel like it.
Yeah.
The
It's
pacing
under
wasn't
2
terrible.
hours.
The pacing was not terrible.
Well,
but
that's the weird
like,
thing is that I almost think the pacing was bad, but I was like, oh wow, it didn't feel like a 2-hour movie or an hour, like whatever it is.
that's good pacing, then.
Yeah, it's like after
Like-
she gets the call, or like, you know, like I guess
In the moment, it didn't feel bad. I guess, yeah, by definition, it was good pacing because I didn't mind it when I was watching. In hindsight, I was like, wait a minute, that felt weird. The sacrifice that she makes for her sister of going to prison and letting her be a child and grow up normal life.
Whack.
I liked it.
Whack?
I
I think it's reasonable.
I think it's good.
don't think it's reasonable to expect a 5-year-old would go to prison for something like that.
No.
She
She
been
would
like,
not.
It was an accident. Like,
It
that-
totally.
unnecessary. But in that moment, you're not thinking rationally, and
Yeah.
she's probably like, I just need to protect my sister. Kevin,
Yeah, but
please.
but also like that's annoying too because it's like she probably would have lost either way. She loses the sister, right? Because she loses that because of like child endangerment and like neglect, whatever that caused her to blow a cop's brain out. But then she just chose the option of I'll go to jail for 20 years and then also lose my sister.
But her
Like,
sister gets to grow up.
That's true. That's fair.
It's a very
Fair.
selfless act.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. You
But-
have swayed me. You're right. It was a fine.
I'd make that call.
A very fine decision.
I just imagine
Yeah,
that
I'd
would have
make
to
that
be
call.
a very difficult, very,
Mhm.
very difficult thing to like do. And like she looks at her sister at like when they're eating breakfast or whatever, the pancakes. She was like,
Eat them all.
She said something and she's like, you're fine. She goes, what'd I do? And I was like, oh, this sister, I was like, she's a serial killer. Like, this girl is going to
Well,
go on and murder people. No, I know.
No,
It just happened.
no. But that's my other issue is that yes, she was 5 years old. Something so traumatic as you fucking murdering somebody still has to stick with you in some way, especially if you have a zero therapy between then and now. There's no way that doesn't do something to her psychologically, that she can, as a 5-year-old, just blow someone's goddamn brains out and then just go about life normally. Like,
I will
no
say
way.
this though, I think trauma has done weird things to people in ways that we just do not understand or can explain. So I think that's where you have to play into it in this, and then like, okay, she was young. Like, I can't remember anything that happened to me as a 5-year-old. I know I didn't kill anybody. That's for almost certain.
Probably.
Maybe. But like, I do believe that aspect, but the weird part, and I just lost it.
I'm sorry, Joey.
Great. No, it's okay.
St. Anthony,
Oh,
Anthony,
no,
please
wait,
come
okay,
around.
you got it,
Something
yeah,
is
you got
lost
it.
and cannot be found.
Thank you,
Joe's
You
memory.
said a prayer, and I remembered my memory. I watched the last part of this movie with Amanda, and I explained to her what was going on so she could understand. And right after everything happens, they explain that the mom died during childbirth with the younger sister. And Amanda turns around and goes, oh, so she's been killing people since day one.
Dude,
My God.
That's so good.
Incredible.
That's so
yeah.
good.
I was like, damn,
incredible.
you're right. She probably is like
Dude.
one more, and she's a serial killer.
Yo, your girlfriend's a
Literally.
savage, bro. I fucking
Yeah.
love it. That's so good. That's
But yeah, I thought that was funny. And
Yeah.
you guys would enjoy that. I think we've talked about this movie
enough.
a good amount. I don't know about enough. I think we could go deeper because there's a lot of themes here, but I think
I disagree with that
Established
statement
our roots.
wholeheartedly.
No, Kevin, I'm just
There's
trying to make
nothing else I have to
content
say
here,
about this
okay?
movie. Yeah.
Okay, so let's play our game for one last time of season 2, the Metascore game.
You keep saying last of season 2, and it's making me sad, Joey.
I
It's
know,
giving me the
I know.
bad
No,
feeling.
it's got to
But
make you excited for
We're gonna
season
come
3.
back
Season
stronger
3!
and better than ever before for season 3.
Yeah.
We
got
already have
cool-
surprises for season 3 you don't even know about that are already in act.
Huh.
Like our website that's live.
Whoa. We do have a website.
What? Yeah, go check it out.
Go check it out.
Kev, what do you think the Metascore of this movie is?
I'm thinking it's good, but not great. I'm gonna go. It's got to be like mid-50s.
You son of a bitch.
Like nothing crazy. Like a 50. Do I go north or south of 55?
I was like,
I'm
South.
sure, so I can't.
54. 54.
I was gonna be mid-50s, but I feel like I kind of want to like change. I don't want to just go like, I don't want to go like 55, but like to Price is Right you. So I'm gonna go 62.
62. So now we all know after a full season of terrible Metascore that we can't rely on that for the rating of the movie.
91.
But
It's
in
gonna
this,
be
bad.
in,
Yeah.
in this case, Metascore would agree with Kevin and that it's
Ooh.
a bad movie with
Ooh.
a rotten 40.
Whoa.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
real
way
low.
lower
That's
than I would
real
have thought.
low.
Yeah.
Pretty low.
Yeah, this movie does
I
suck.
was.
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad. There's.
I think 40 is a little harsh, but I get a 40. Like I understand.
I mean,
it.
I think the lowest you could go on this is like a 49. Like that is the lowest you could go on this movie.
Well, Roger
I could
Ebert's
drop to a 30.
journal went with a 12.
Oh, I
So
hate
that's
Robert
probably the
Ebert, so it
lowest
doesn't
you could
matter.
go.
Sorry, Robert.
yeah. Sorry, Mr. Ebert.
I don't call him Mr. Ebert. I don't respect him.
The headline. Wait,
I do.
The headline for his is this is 3 movies in one, each of which is progressively worse, as Kevin kind of also said. I think Kevin wrote that article.
That is
Kevin,
kind
are
of
you-
maybe I'm
are you
maybe I'm
Robert?
Mr. Ebert.
Mr.
That's my-
Ebert.
That's funny.
Okay. Let's double down before we wrap up one last time.
Yo, Robert Ebert.
James, why don't you
I want
start,
to respect
since we know.
Robert Ebert.
Yeah, he died a couple
he
years
died.
ago.
I didn't know he died. Never mind.
Did he?
Yeah,
Yeah, he died a while ago.
2013.
Okay, James.
I'm doubling down. This is a good movie. I don't care what Odie Henderson or Kevin says.
Unbelievable, dude. I worked my ass off. I thought
Me
you were gonna
versus
change your
Odie
mind.
and
I
Kevin.
worked my tail off. Ugh. Yeah, I'm doubling down too. Keep scrolling. Fuck this movie.
Joey.
I'm a soft play on this one.
Let's go!
I do-
Nice.
I'm doubling down that
Fuck
it's
you, Kevin.
still worth watching, but
But I
it's-
worked him down to a soft play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did because it's worth watching, but it's under the right circumstances of like, okay, you have a very chill Thursday night. Maybe it's raining outside. You don't want to go out.
Really setting the mood.
Yeah.
Dinner. You're gonna order
Dinner.
a pizza. Set your
Me and
flicker
Joey are on the
fireplace.
couch under a blanket.
Kevin, all I'm saying.
Wine is pouring.
All I'm saying, Kevin, is close only counts and horseshoes and hand grenades, and I'm taking the dub.
All right, whatever.
That's fair.
James, whatever.
We have
Enjoy
two
this one.
plays, 2 plays, and it keeps scrolling.
Let's go, Joey.
And that, fellas, wraps up season 2. But we may release some bonus content in the meantime. You never know. We, all 3, went 15 for 15 on
Season
episodes. No guest
Wow.
episodes. You know, we did try to get a couple guests on the show this season, but we're working harder for season 3, you know?
Yeah.
But at least you had all 3 of us every week. So
Oh.
you're welcome.
Boys, it's been a pleasure. You know, not
Yes,
just for
it
us,
has.
but for the listeners.
For
Congratulations.
our 35 subscribers.
For our 35 subscribers, newly appointed. Hey, by the time this video goes out, 6,000 subscribers. Who's not? I'm not
Maybe.
calling it. Maybe it could happen. It's 2022 almost.
Someone related us to The View, and they're wildly successful.
Boom.
So
Yeah.
We've talked
Look
about
at
that
us.
guy in 4 podcasts.
yeah, fuck that guy. But anyway,
anyway,
like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll talk about you.
is that it?
Yeah.
Is that an impersonation of me, Kevin? is that what I sound like?
Like,
sounded
comment,
like
and
shots to
subscribe
me.
before I go to bed.
Whoa, man doubles down.
Yeah, do a
Okay.
D&D bit.
Dude,
Oh,
D&D.
like, comment, and subscribe, you stupid rogue, and I'm gonna go to bed.
That's
Kevin
a
has.
triple down.
I can't wait until Kevin writes my bio on the website. Okay,
James, it'll be 3 months late. Don't worry.
that's true.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait 3 months, and then the bio is gonna be, oh, sorry, I forgot to write a bio. I fell asleep.
Wow, rude. So rude. All right.
Sorry.
Well, season 3 is coming. We're excited. New things in the works. Be pumped for it. And if you want to see it when it comes out, subscribe to our YouTube channel because we post everything on there. In addition to bonus episodes that could be coming out during the break. Follow us on Instagram, Flix_fellas. We are going to be active on there even through the break. You could chat with us, talk to us about movies, or talk to us about whatever. If you join our Patreon, we have a Discord. We can hang out. I hang out there frequently. I made it. It's really nice. Other than that, fellas,
It's been fun.
Fellas. See you in season 3.
Fellas.
Yep. See you in season 3. Thank
See you
you.
in season 3, all.
Goodbye.
And goodbye.
Goodbye.